How's it going, folks? My name is Alexis, and in today's video we're going to be discussing one of my favorite topics in the world of collecting Halloween masks and latex props, new and vintage. And specifically, that is the subject of the Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusions props. I do not own a comprehensive collection of beheaded illusions. There's been a pretty large variety through the years. Currently, Distortions produces 3 varieties of this particular concept, and one of which is, of course, the Zombie. And this freakish dude right here is what started it all. This is, I believe, to be an original first-year production, 1997, if not 98, 99, Beheaded Zombie Illusion. And this guy is a brand new, well, new enough, 2025 Zombie Beheaded Illusion. So there are a handful of videos here on YouTube concerning the beheaded zombie from Distortions, but I haven't seen anyone do a head-to-head comparison, if you will, on a true vintage copy and a new generation copy, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting, so let's go ahead and check it out. So, of course, we're going to go in chronological order and start out with the vintage 1997 Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusion Zombie Prop Puppet. That's quite a mouthful. I'm still speechless. I still can't believe I own this. It's funny how you acquire holy grails in your collection and they become mundane, you know what I mean? It's like, oh cool, I've got it. Awesome. But staring at him now, holy shit. So this guy is cool, really, for 2 reasons. 1, of course, he's a vintage Distortions piece, and 2, he is a piece of rock and roll memorabilia. A big draw to this particular item for a lot of collectors would be Buckethead, the guitar virtuoso. When Distortions put this guy out, Buckethead went and grabbed himself a copy, and it was sort of funny because his original version, which to this day is known as Herbie, he actually tore quite a bit of the foam out and turned the tongue inside out to use it as a standard puppet, you know, like a Sesame Street type puppet. And that thing got a lot of mileage, and there's been a variety of different Herbies over the past few decades, you know, different versions of the Distortions beheaded prop. I think he has used some just standard Halloween masks as Herbies. This guy I actually purchased on eBay, and this was August of 2025. I purchased the modern copy from Distortion's website because I kind of thought, you know, what's the chance I'm ever going to find a vintage one? A couple weeks later, he popped up on eBay. The seller had him listed at a price that was a little more than I was willing to pay, but then he sent a seller offer that was a lot more like it. I would assume if I hadn't have purchased him that day, he probably would have sold within a few days. I purchased him completely stripped of all of his foam. I don't know if his goal was to do a Herbie conversion, you know, make it look like Buckethead's copy. It was a bit of a risk, and the description wasn't fantastic, so I didn't know if he was rotted or anything, but he looked okay from the pictures. Turns out he was in really, really great shape. There's no major issues on the latex, no hardening, no softening, no cracking, no tearing. So I went ahead and got some acoustic foam that I had laying around, chopped it up and glued it together, and tried my best to foam him. I really, really took my time. I spent hours and hours doing it. All things considered, I think he looks pretty good. So the paint job on him is, as you can see, very rough around the edges, but very striking and bizarre. I mean, he's just weird as hell. He's this sort of vibrant yellowish green skin tone, and there's bursts of black and pink airbrushing just in miscellaneous areas. And of course, he's got the burst of slime green on the tongue. I don't know if the original versions of this guy would have had the hot glue on the tongue like the modern copy does, which we'll see in a minute, of course. And I don't know if this guy would have come with the stringers, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if every Beheaded Illusion used to come with them, but it was sort of these latex, you know, guts kind of hanging out of the bottom of the neck stump. He bears very close resemblance to Buckethead's original Herbie, which, man, that really is something special. This really is a fantastic piece. I can talk for another 25 minutes. I'm going to shut up now. Let's check out the modern one. And moving on to the modern copy, here he is. So I ordered him, of course, direct from Distortions Unlimited's website. This was in July of 2025, and I believe he arrived early September of 25. Since Distortions is based in Greeley, Colorado, and I live in Aurora, he only took a day to ship. I mean, less than 24 hours from time of ship to the time he arrived at my doorstep. And man, that was so exciting to unbox him. That's something I'll always remember. This is in fact the first prop I've ever purchased brand new directly from Distortions. I have some used and vintage Distortions stuff, of course. So as you can see, the detail, the paint job on this guy is really exceptional. Totally night and day from the vintage copy. I love this muted, sort of yellowish green skin tone. You can see the bags under his eyes. There's some blue highlighting and some purple and some black, of course. I love the eyes, these bright blue eyes, but they've been glossed over and they look very dead. He's got this beautiful salt and pepper hair, which I'm not sure exactly what this material is, but it's extremely similar to the hair on the Death Studios masks. You can see I have some of my Death Studios masks back there. The latex is really nice, thick quality. I don't know if this guy will ever rot, because, you know, I have lots of vintage Distortion stuff that's in perfect shape. So Distortions uses the good latex, I guess. He is foam-filled, of course, and the foam they use is very nice and dense. Again, I think this guy will have a very long shelf life, all things considered. I take very good care of him. I keep him out of UV rays, all that. And that will just about do it here for today's video on the vintage 1997 Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Zombie and the brand new 2025 Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Zombie. I hope you at least learned something from this video, to some extent or another. The pure vintage charm of this guy, and of course the Buckethead connection, really makes it a fantastic piece in any vintage Halloween collection. And the brand new guy, the detail is just so exceptional. I can tell you from a first-hand account that this past Halloween season at my home haunt, not only did I run around with this guy, but I also ran around with my rat girl, which is just off screen right there. And the trick-or-treaters and adults alike really got freaked out, especially the rat girl. It was just, you know, people were screaming, people were running. It's just, you know, they're so much fun. They're so effective. I think they're must-haves if you run any sort of haunted house. So, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Distortions Unlimited for continuing to produce cool shit for us, the haunting public. And I think that'll just about do it. So, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.